see what we've got. It'll be me and NickFatnite taking you through Xyr0n and Saturus' semi-final run here. This is a best of 5 series, and our first map is Oil Spill. Are you ready, Nick?
I'm ready. Ready for Oil Spill.
Let's make it happen.
That's a Brunhilde double steal.
All right, so we've got. Let's see what Xyr0n's got going on here. We heard some predictions that we're going to be dodging the grenade here. So we've got Anna in the Strasniks versus Brunhilde's Tea Party.
Still my favorite punk band name. Punk Jazz. I'm sorry, Punk Jazz.
Yeah, so this is a match, like, Saturus is strong enough that he should be able
I'm going
to
for the
control.
grenade because grenades are shit.
Oh yeah, see, okay, he's running across the field
I'm
here.
not watching his stream, but I'm just anticipating that he's watching and maybe heard me.
Oh man, here it goes, he's going for the steal. He didn't get it.
He got it first for whatever reason, I don't get it.
Well, that's a risk you take. If you're literally just playing which engineer touches the grenade first, you can't really expect that that's going to be a win. That's like a 50-50 shot. Maybe these are
Valiant effort, though. You like to see it.
So I guess maybe people were talking about on tracks. I'll have to rewatch Xyr0n's games. I'm not sure what people are talking about with Xyr0n not winning his grenades. Maybe it was specifically on tracks. I think it's justified to not go for it right away on tracks because you can get down some annoying NG wire first thing out of the gate, which I've seen a lot of people doing.
Oh my god.
Well, and if you don't go for it and your enemy tries to go for it, you're going to be pretty close. People will react to it.
Alright, so all of these center stuff is taken. We have caps going down on the far side. It looks like second engineer for Xyr0n. What's his plan here?
2 sets. Is he gonna go gunner flamethrower?
Yeah, he's either going for the... I could see the gunner maybe happening. Although I guess he's against Saxony, so flamethrowers can actually get some work done against stormtroopers. You just have to be very careful with them because, as we mentioned yesterday when we were talking about Oil Spill, those slower infantry can become quite exposed on that very long retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Too Sketchy is casting Xyr0n as well. He said yesterday he wanted Troid's game.
Yeah, it's odd.
I don't know. Yeah, we said we were gonna cover Xyr0n. Sketchy should be covering Troid's game. If you guys want to watch Troid's game, that's what's happening over there.
I think he's watching it because Troid hasn't started yet. Naughty boy.
Yeah, I don't I feel like that's like maybe until we get that fixed, maybe we should ban that building from, because that's a known bug that building can't be shot at.
Which one, that one right there?
No, the one on the left side by the resource caches. Vindicator is pointing that out, and that's a fact. That's a kind of cheesy play from Xyr0n. I try not to use that building myself, but Xyr0n usually doesn't hesitate. He's like, it's in the game. I'm gonna use it.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, I'll make sure to send that to. I feel like they have to know about it by now, but also, since they don't have a forum, I don't imagine. I have no idea how they actually track bug reports and the mess that is Discord.
Their email has to be nothing but VODs.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, Vindicator, I guess Vindicator just learned about that squad. Yeah, he said I sent 2 squads to go shoot at a rifleman in there one time and took a bunch of free damage for my trouble. Yeah, a lot of us have known about that one, and normally it's just disengage, I guess, if they wanna use that. But anyways, keeping with the match at hand, we've got iron mines upgraded for both players and 1 oil pump already upgraded for Saturus. So Saturus is well on his way to that tier 2 rush. Reserve 2 can come out very quickly on this map if it's not contested. Xyr0n seems like he's trying to decap the iron here and there, but I feel like really you want to be controlling the oil as much as you can against a reserve 2 player. Xyr0n did get the cannons as well, so one of his engineers did get upgraded. It looks like he's not going for another weapon. It looks like he's going to keep those engineers around for building, at least for the moment. He could go for the flamethrowers later on, but flamethrowers, I'm just not sure how much of a use they have quite yet.
Those gunners are not doing so hot over there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? When you take those gunners early on, you lose some mobility, you lose a little bit of damage on your infantry fights as well, because the gunners can still do some damage against infantry, but they're just not as effective fighting other infantry as your primary squads or grenadiers. So they get a little knockback, which can be useful sometimes, but honestly, you just want your primary weapons in the infantry fights. Man on Mars asked the reserves. Yeah, I wish we could, like, if we ever get an observer replay interface, I'm assuming we'll be able to see the reserves on screen. But as of right now, we can't see that. So just a reminder, the reserves are Anna and the Strasniks for Xyr0n and the Brunhilde Teen Party. So Brunhilde and two Stiefmutters for Saturus.
Brunhilde Tea Party, I love it.
All right, so yeah, a pretty good reserve one timing. He hit it about 5:45, which is a little late, but about as good as you can do if you're going for full resource upgrades. You can actually get it at around 5 minutes if you only upgrade a single iron mine. But it takes a little more than that to actually get if you upgrade all 3, it delays you by about a minute. So it comes out a little later here. But right now, Xyr0n, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so if you're Xyr0n right now, where are you sending this reserve one?
Right up the middle. I want to send that reserve up the middle, take the mid VP, and then contest that leftmost oil pump.
Probably put down
He could also just gun, if he wants to be super aggressive, he could gun straight down the middle and go for the big oil pump. Which, if he can get that decapped, he'll stall the reserve 1 quite a bit. Or sorry, the reserve 2. But because when Brunhilde hits, those big mech reserves too are actually really tough to hold if you're not in a good position to do so, because Brunhilde will just stomp up the map. The Stiefmutters will, I mean, they have such crazy burst now since they got their buff. 2 Stiefmutters can kill just about anything with combined volley with all their wheels. So yeah, here comes the Strasniks. He's gonna melee the gunners to make sure they can't fire. He does have an engineer. Where is that engineer? Is that on the far oil pump? But yeah, this is the reserve 1 push that if you don't have a good answer, it gets really tough. He did buy 2 gunners right away here, but Xyr0n is on point. He's meleeing, he's dropping grenades. He suppressed them almost instantly and dropped a grenade on. The gunners have to retreat, and almost everything out here, tons of infantry is all suppressed. Kind of on both sides here. Anna's taking the point. And it feels like Xyr0n has this plan down to a T. Now he's going a little deep here. He's got to be careful with these 2 gunner squads. If he throws these Strasniks away, he kind of loses a lot of his map presence right here. Yeah, he's pushing up way too far, I think, unfortunately. He wanted those oil pumps really badly, but now the second wave comes in from Saxony, and he has no choice but to fall back. The Strasnik might even get knocked out here. The weak one has to retreat. And it looks like the engineers aren't actually going to get the decap over here on the big iron mine. But he did decap the oil, and he might get a decap on that last victory point as well.
So now that he's decapped and he's slowed Saturus down a little bit, what do you expect to see from Xyr0n here moving forward? Are we going to get some AT guns? I don't know if he has a workshop down yet. Or
yeah, that's the problem. His engineers have been up on the field capping, so like once those retreat, he's probably going to slap his workshop down right away, but I don't know if it's going to be too late or not. I don't think we're going to see a super fast reserve over here, but with the oil getting decapped, I'm thinking maybe around 11 or 12 minutes. But Overlay says best of 52. Oh, yeah. There we go. I think you guys can figure it out. You're smart fellas. What, you guys weren't ready to stick around for 50 games today?
You guys weren't here for the 24-hour stream?
Alright, so Anna doing what Anna does best and keeping infantry away from points here. The troop surge is coming up down the middle from Saxony. Alright, Gunner's gonna get forced off by the dual riflemen on the far side, and Strasniks look like they're pretty well repaired up. Now, I wasn't paying attention. Did he base repair those? Or did he use engineers? I'm assuming with how fast...
He only got one engineer squad.
Yeah, I'm assuming since the workshop was going off, he spent the resources to use the base repair there. Charging up against, oh man, on both sides, being a little brazen there. He forced off one squad of gunners, the other squad is over here against the Strasniks, but the two Strasniks should be able to rout the gunners, unless they're just standing in cover. Uh-oh, he's trying to move in to block the shots. Yeah, see, I mean, one squad of gunners behind cover can actually deal with both Strasniks if you don't flank and get into a good position here. Big infantry fight in the center, 4 squads on both sides. Who knows what's going to come out of this one? It depends on grenades, it depends on positioning. And there's just damage numbers popping up everywhere. Squad going down for... Yeah, Saturus takes out a grenadier. I don't think he's going to be able to quite take that engagement. It looks like it's going to go back. Now, is he going to base repair again? Oh, he does. That's a lot of iron down the drain. And a lot of oil as well. He can only... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think his workshop's done. I think he sent the engineers out to fight just before it was done.
No, I think he's upgrading to advanced, because he's got a Zulv. Oh, he's got a Zulv in the production there.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah, so the Zulv's coming up, so that'll be one good answer, but the Zulv's on its own won't be able to hold against the reserve 2 of Saturus, which I'm assuming is probably on its way out right about now, if not already on the field. Of course, we can't see, but I'm willing to bet that lurking in the fog of war out there somewhere. I think Saturus is about to invite Xyr0n to the tea party. But yeah, he's got 2 gunner squads. He's going to want a Zulv for each of those. And then behind that, maybe he can get a Motsny, he can get some AT guns, and then eventually work his way into a turret to really start deleting those gunner squads. Because that's what it gets down to. Like once you start spamming Zuls, then the gunners start coming out from your opponent. And once the gunners start coming out, that's when you can really punish them with the turret. You don't want to bring out the turret too early because it can't actually hit the enemy mechs that hard on its own. You want the tour out to answer enemy infantry when you can.
Good old-fashioned gunfight for that middle VP.
Yeah, big old shootout, but oh, here come the wheelie boys.
Tea time.
Little engineer squad lost there on the left to Anna. Okay, so the Zulv is pushing hard against the 2 Stiefmotors. It looks like they actually threw out a lot of their initial volleys. So he's diving in with the Zulv. He's got to be careful though. I think that Zulv might still lose that fight if he's not careful. Yeah, it's just stacking damage. His squad preservation's quite good though. He's still got... Oh no, he lost his first Zulv.
Base repair again? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think like you just have to accept. I would just park one of those Strasniks on my natural VP and then keep the other one around to harass and like kind of protect your Zul's from gunners. But yeah, hitting that base repair button time after time gets very expensive. Now let's see, does Brunhilde have her artillery shot? I would assume not. I think it's already been used. But like, until he starts making sure... I mean, he does have all of his rifles vetted. The 3 squads he has left anyways. so that means they won't die immediately to a Brunhilde shell, but he has to be careful keeping his infantry blobbed up at all, because Brunhilde will punish that very hard, just like that. I mean, took half the health off of Anna with one blast there.
Uh-oh.
Brunhilde shell can even insta-kill Vet 2 gunners. Are you sure about that? I'm not entirely sure about that,
Alright,
Vip.
that was stupid.
Maybe
Oh,
if
no,
they're
it's dead.
bunched up just right. I don't know. I'll have to verify that later on. Yes, you just did it today. All right.
Ooh, the wheels. Bye, Anna.
Yeah, Anna goes down. She ventured a little too close to the Stiefmütters, but Strasniks are pushing up the eastern front here. Strasniks and a few rifle squads. Oh no, but there's a third Stief back in the base of Saturus. Wheels are coming out, smashing into that elite rifle squad. It's elite, so it can take the hits pretty well, but now both these Strasniks are vetted up. I'm curious with overdrive if they can actually shoot down. The wheels in theory can be shot down, but I see it happen so rarely. See, right there they actually went down. In theory, it feels like you should be able to have enough firepower to stop the wheels when they're approaching, but of course that's assuming that your squads manage to retarget quickly enough. Oh my gosh, the damage is insane. Xyr0n's getting ripped apart. He's still holding here on the eastern side, but it seems like he's starting to fall a little behind. He's got his Zulfs up, but he needs something else to actually punch holes in these mechs, whether it's an AT gun or a Motzny, to hold the backline behind the Zulfs and kind of prevent these mechs from pushing forward. Oh my god, look how fast that Zulf takes damage. I think all three of the Stiefs are up there now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him lose one of those. Yeah, the Zulfs aren't getting it done for him right now.
Yeah, while they are tanky, their damage output isn't great, and if there's a lot around, you can't directly target the gunners inside, right? So have you fought against any of the Stiefmutter stuff yet, or have you been free of the teapots?
I've gotten some of it. Usually it's a mirror match, so I've usually got a few Stiefmutters in the fight myself.
Okay.
I mean, on a big map, I don't get blood oil. I don't get oil spill that much. So I mean, it's a little harder with the wide open spaces. But I mean, it's just about coming from two different directions and not bunching up like Xyr0n has been right here.
Oh man, so Xyr0n goes for a third Zulf. I don't know if I agree with that. We'll have to see what he can get it done. In my opinion, in my experience, I feel like 2 Zulfs is the sweet spot, and then from there you want to start getting more DPS out. You want your AT guns, or you want your Motznies, because the Zulfs can maneuver around, but you want to be able to direct that damage where you can, and Motznies, AT guns, even Tors allow you to get that done. Man, he's just hitting that base repair button all the time. I guess he doesn't have any Engies left, but that gets so expensive.
Yeah, this cap's full, so he's not gonna be able to, unless he picks one up somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he still has good iron income. He's got the contested iron, and he's largely been holding it. He's down to the one Strasnik. That Strasnik can pretty easily defend that iron mine if he can get up there. He's trying to pressure off the infantry now so he can keep on that iron. I really want to see him pop out an engineer when he gets the opportunity to do so, but I mean, the thing with going 3 Zulfs is that a Zulf and a gunner squad is 8 population. So you can see right now, the 3 mechs that he has, that's pretty much all he can have for the moment. At this point, he needs to upgrade his barracks to get any more on the field. And here comes the push. The 3 Zulfs are moving up. It looks like one of the Stiefmutters on retreat. And can he finally get something done here with this triple Zulf build?
Would you be bringing back Anna at this point?
Anna's a bit expensive. I'd want to try to push mid and pick her up on her own because Anna's primary purpose is anti-infantry, and the thing that Xyr0n's having issues with right now is the mechs. And you can see Xyr0n even deploys the gunners out of the Zulf so he can actually target them, since you can't actually target the infantry in the Zulfs. He might be able to take out one of the Steves right here. But there is a Xyr0n on the field. Oh no, he's got to hop back in. He's got to get out of there. So now the Zulfs are deep into enemy territory. They're injured pretty badly. One of those probably not making it home. Maybe two go down even. Oh my gosh, did that one how did that escape? Oh no, okay, there it goes. One finally goes down. It looks like the second will escape. It is elite now, so it's got a huge health pool, but again, and he's just rebuilding them. And this is kind of what I was speaking to, is that he can make these dives, right? But the damage output from those Zulfs was so little that the Stiefmutter had time to run all the way back to base and repair before the Zulfs could take it out. Even when he deployed the gunners from the Zulfs and hard targeted the Stiefmutter, right?
Really feeling that pop cap right now.
Yeah, that would be another reason to get Anna up, is simply because it would give him one more unit on the field. But as it stands right now, it looks like the Saxony march is, as it does, slowly moving forward. You got Brunhilde hanging out on the middle VP, so you just can't approach that with infantry, right? And now that there's a Xyr0n on the field, that allows the Saxony another avenue of attack, so the Xyr's going to push up on the front line with the Steves behind it. He's gonna go for the Anna res. This is dangerous. I guess he's trying to send two squads. He's gonna send one on the point, one to Anna. He can't hit both of them with the Brunhilde mortar, so I guess his plan is he can at least get something out of it. But here comes the second wave of attack. The wheels are coming in, and keep in mind that even though the Zulfs aren't going down here... Oh my gosh, look how fast.
Wow, that one. Oh.
But keep in mind, mech damages still cost money in this game. Just because you're not killing it doesn't mean they're not getting the repair. And although, like I said, Xyr0n doesn't have engineers, so his repair is going to be very expensive. Like, these two Zulfs going down this low is actually going to be just as expensive as buying another mech.
Hey, you get Anna.
So he got Anna up. That's a small victory here. And the other thing is that Xyr0n's kind of moving his Zulfs in a blob, it seems like. So the wheels, the damage from the wheels is actually hitting two and sometimes all three of those Zulfs. So if he kind of spread those out manually and approached from a few different angles, the wheels wouldn't do nearly as much to all of them. I think what we saw there on that last push was just the Zulfs. The Zulfs were taking all the damage at the same time from those wheels.
With that Straz gun, I'll be interested to see if he goes for another Zulf or if he actually goes into a Montney this time.
Yeah, I'd really like to see either a Montney or an AT gun, especially with the Xyr on the field. I think he could put an AT gun on, kind of, yeah, like right here where Anna and the boys are hanging out. Oh, this time he's going to target Brunhilde. So he wants to try to get a grasp on that center VP. The thing with Brunhilde is that you can take her out, but she'll get rezzed right back up. But it might buy you an opportunity to get that center VP. The VPs are, speaking of, are getting perilously low for Xyr0n. 166 to 415 right now. So it's only going to be a few, like less than a minute before Xyr0n has to get these VPs back in his command. He's losing a VP a second right now when it's a triple cap.
Brunhilde goes down, but I imagine might be a teapot or somebody heading that way.
Yeah, it looks like two teapots are over there. The Stiefmutter's showing up once again. You can tell on the minimap that the arrows on the minimap actually spin around just like the Stiefmutters do. Yeah, so it's looking like Xyr0n can't quite seem to close this one out. He's getting a decap on this side. Is that the Xyr? What? Yeah, the Xyr's camped out on the point over there. And I think he was just a little too Zulf dependent and didn't make much out of his pushes here. Oh my gosh, is that 4 Steves now?
4
Oh
Steve
my
parties.
gosh.
When does a tea party become a rager?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that T is spiked at this point because the Saxons seem to be having quite a good time over there. But yeah, I mean, so there's a combination of like all the Zulfs and all of the like Xyr0n. I think hit the. I would like to see a statistic on how much he spent on mech repair this game. Someone that likes doing numbers, rewatch this game and add up all the times that he hit that mech repair button, because I mean when you're fighting Kaisers and you're against 4 Stiefmutters, like it just becomes insurmountable. The VPs are gonna tick down here. He literally just doesn't even have the time to cap this, even if you put Anna on the points right now. He's down to almost nothing left, and Saturus is gonna take the first match, taking it to a 1-0 lead. It's a best of 5, so Xyr0n's definitely got some time to figure this out and think how he wants to take it out.
We can also just wait out the points.
Man.
Oh, I hope he goes into the menu so we can see those reinforced points.
Hi, bloody man.
Well, unfortunately, the menu doesn't actually show like how much he spent on.
Alright, so it's
I want plenty more
for Saturus.
end-game stats. I hope they upgrade that. Oh, see, he doesn't even look at any of it.
Oh, he doesn't look.
Which is
I
fine.
mean, I wouldn't either. I'd be ready to get out of there.
Yeah.
Stiefmutter.
Yeah, the Stiefmutters are very good right now. I don't want to say that they got a little overbuff because they needed something to be relevant, but I think their damage almost got doubled against heavy armor. So their burst damage is pretty insane right now.
So I think next up is Deserted Tracks.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yes, it is.
Well, in this
is.
matchup, how does the map pick work in these best of 5 series?
Here, let me pull it up. Let's see.
It goes
I figure we
spill,
had. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just being difficult. It goes oil spill, deserted tracks, and then we reverse, and then oil spill again, but the positions are switched because everyone hates Border River, and
Viel Erfolg, danke sehr. Stiefmutter
Urban
zum Schwert zu
Paradise
besiegen,
causes
wenn sie
frames
eine größere
to
Anzahl
just
erreichen.
disappear.
Yep.
So we had to get rid of those two. There might be a different map for the 5th map because the players sort of agree among themselves what they're going to do there. But I expect we'll just see something like
So I'm
oil
waiting
spill
for the
again.
next code.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any Border River on that last game if we get to a game 5 at all today.
Good luck in the next one. Thank you.
So Xyr0n yesterday, the few matches I went back and watched, played some Saxony. So let's see if he keeps
So
that
what went
going.
wrong in that game is that, well, I basically crushed him in the early game. And then when Xyr0n arrived, the Stiefmutter spam started and I was not able to take down any of them. And that sucked. Yeah, they are really
Just listening to
slow and they are
Xyr0n's personal
light
commentary at the
mechs,
moment.
but somehow they always manage to survive. And the problem about Juves is that the gunners inside don't focus mechs. They mostly focus infantry.
Yeah, the main thing with Zulz right now, like until we get the ability to like manually target infantry in garrisons and mechs, it's I feel like we have so many half-baked mechanics in this game sometimes.
Wait, they get 900 HP? I thought they
Can
like,
they- So when
It's
the Zulz is
750 or
vetted up and
something.
it has its bunker ability or its stationary ability, can you not target with the infantry then? Or
No,
is it
you can
still...
only target the Zul's primary mortar. And the same thing in any garrisons. Like if you have infantry in a garrison, you can't tell
Let's
them
go.
what to fire at. It's just
Mirror match.
across the board right now.
playing the Saxony bread and butter. I love it.
All right, here we go. Yeah, Gunther, Grimby, mortar.
Okay, not an exact
But
mirror
Saturus
match.
is switching
Got
up.
the
He goes
admin from
Gunther
the
mortar, but instead of the Grimby, he puts
So let's crush him in the early
three
game.
of those points into reserve 2. So he's got an Eisenhans, or sorry, an Erlkönig, not Eisenhans, Erlkönig and a Stiefmutter.
They look so much alike. They get mixed up all the time. It's okay.
So yeah, I actually like this a
Deepa,
lot
do you
because
know
I feel like the
if,
Grimbart
Wotan
maybe
got
isn't
greater
going to
range
be
than
as
Stiefmutter?
effective on this map against Gunther.
I need to know, quick.
No, Claire, it's not Hans. I misspoke. Don't get excited. We know how Clara feels about those exosuits. Hans is love, Hans is life.
Big
oh,
fan.
Man. So the Saxony mirror, this is surprising to see.
I didn't think we'd see much Saxony today, but here we are, 2 matches in, or 2 games in, and okay, so this is the grenade he's not going to pick up right here.
Yeah, we'll see if he, what I would expect is those engineers are going to go wire off the oil real quick, capture the oil, and then go back for the grenade. I think we saw, who did we see do that yesterday as well? Was that Time, or was it someone else? I can't remember.
I think that was Tim, but he was only able to do it successfully like the first time. Every other time he was playing someone super aggressive.
Yeah, so we can see he hits the box right there. Yeah, he is going to get his grenade.
Okay, he took the oil.
Missed the reserves. Could someone write them down? Xyr0n's reserves are Gunther, Grimby, Mortar for Reserve 1. Saturus' reserves are Gunther and a Mortar in Reserve 1, and then an Erlkönig and Stiefmutter in Reserve 2. So he took those... Saturus dodged the Grimby and decided the 3 reserve points are much better spent on two larger mechs. So I'm curious to see how he plays with getting both reserves up. That it will, in theory, allow him to field a bigger army in the long run too. So in the long run, splitting your reserves can be good because you eventually have to buy that reserve 2 at some point anyways if you want to get that extra 5 pop cap and get a final mech or infantry squad on the field. But that's assuming you're still at your army cap in the late game anyways. So it can be a mixed bag.
Nice little back and forth for those middle catches.
Yeah, grenade goes down over here. It's not going to hit, but it will blow away those sandbags, so it won't be a strong cover there for that opposing squad either. Xyr0n prioritizing victory points here. He's trying to harass his opponent's victory point and capture his own, get that extra metal down as well. Looks like, oh, Iron getting captured over here. So both sides, like, pretty furiously fighting for these resource caches. Iron mines get upgraded for both sides, it looks like right there, and Xyr0n's going to take control of mid once again. A lot of little infantry scuffles happening throughout the map here.
Yeah, I think Xyr0n even got the steel cache over on the far side over by Saturus' natural VP. I'm pretty sure he was over there grabbing that too.
Yeah, so he should be well ahead on Iron now. The thing I would expect him to convert that, since you can't really get more squads than your opponent at this stage of the game, since you're both producing out of your slow HQ, I'd expect him to maybe go for a fast oil pump upgrade. So he's sitting on just his 5 right now. He hasn't bought... Oh, okay, I was about to say, he hasn't bought engineers, and he's sitting at about 200 iron, so I thought he was going to go for an oil pump upgrade there, but then he does throw down the engineers. Big stormtrooper surge happening here. It looks like Xyr0n has the better positioning here. He's pretty well split up to fire into that blob. He's got one squad suppressed over here. But once your squads go prone, they actually take a good bit less damage. They present a smaller target profile, and the way fire works in this game, it's actually all actual line of sight. So when your squads go prone, they're actually harder to hit, as you would expect. So that's a weird play right there. Like, I guess at that point you're just trying to deny the iron going to your opponent because you get that 60 iron, but you lose 4 members, so it kind of nullifies itself. Gets a decap on the oil. And the barracks is going down.
That's big. That's huge for me.
I imagine we'll be seeing Reserve 1 here pretty soon. Minute or two.
Yeah, it'll take him about a minute to get up the remaining oil to pop that reserve out, but he's looking, I mean, he's looking plenty good on iron. I think he got, like you said, all 4 of the iron caches, so he should be a couple hundred iron up on his opponent, assuming he doesn't throw away too many squad members for free here.
And it looks like we are going to get some barbed wire there over there by his oil pump.
Yeah, it's such a low investment for such a nice payoff. You can force a grenade out of your opponent, or just sometimes even just micro mistakes. They'll click on your oil pump and then not realize that their infantry are moving around to the far side of the map and lose a couple extra models for nothing. Not quite a squad kill there. He was looking for it, but couldn't quite get it.
Be a perfect time to upgrade that oil pump now.
Yeah, he's floating so much. I would really expect that. I mean, I guess he's not going to have enough to get both his reserve and that oil pump upgrade, so he's just going to hold on to it for the moment, get that reserve out, and then he'll be able to upgrade oil here shortly. Yeah, there he goes. Gunther and the Grimby en route. Now, let's see. We see the triple upgrades from Saturus, so I think we're actually not going to see his reserve hit at the same timing. So there should be a window here for Xyr0n to push in with Gunther and the Grimbart and really punish that. I like Xyr0n even putting wire down here to deny the cover behind the trains. You see this?
I do like that. I haven't seen that before. I like that.
So the NGs get suppressed. They're also taking fire from their opponent, but putting this wire down simply means that his opponent won't be able to get behind that cover at all. And that's one of the strongest points in the map, right, is hiding behind those train cars. So this gets him a pretty nice position, and now with Gunther coming in and the Grimbart not far behind him, Xyr0n might be able to push up, might be able to steal this big iron mine over here, and it looks like the field cannon is not grabbed right now. Bit of a missed opportunity. Yeah, Saturus is going to go right for it right now. Now, Grimbart and Gunther could actually break that field cannon pretty quickly if they just focus fire it down. They could just break the weapon itself. I don't know if that's the way you want to go about this, but it's a reasonable attempt here. Yeah, he decrews the gun pretty quickly, reinforces all his infantry, and it's going to be a huge push up the middle here. Yeah, look, that AT gun's already about a half health, although so is Gunther. Is this Grimbart going to make the difference? This is what Saturus opted out of, and he doesn't seem to have a good answer to it. He does recrew the field cannon. The Grimby's looking pretty hurt here. It's going to take a shot to the rear armor here in just a second. No, it gets turned around and backs up just in time, so it doesn't take that big 350 damage shot. Oh my gosh, and a nice mortar shell right there. And notice Xyr0n's actually using his mortar to pressure the iron mine right there. He just wants to destroy it outright. It looks like he wants to break this AT gun as well. If he can break that AT gun, there's not going to be a great answer to the Grimbart. There are gunners.
That mortar strike cleared a lot of that barbed wire over there, so...
Oh my gosh, he's staying so blobbed up though. The mortar's really punishing Xyr0n here. And now the opposing Gunther has kind of a clear shot to come up on the Grimby. The engineer's trying to keep the Grimbart fixed up, but he's got to be careful with this opposing Gunther out here.
He's got to back that Grimby up.
It looks like Saturus lost track of one of these squads over here. So Xyr0n's push gets thwarted here. He has managed to take the far oil, so that's a little bit of an advantage, a nice little edge here, but it's not huge.
Great grenade.
Yeah, the mortar system teams don't tend to blob up as much as AT gun crews, so grenades don't normally do quite as much damage, but still manage to put some good hurt down. I want to see Xyr0n spreading these troops out a little bit more against this mortar fire.
Yeah, he's just a big blob right now.
Yeah, there he goes. He now we see, this is what I want to see. He's spread out across all the cover. He'll still take a bit of that mortar fire. He's got a grenade here too that's going over to the east. I kind of want to see that go up and pressure the mortar, but it looks like for the moment he's winning the front line. And the other thing I like about Xyr0n's mortar positioning is that it's just far enough up that it can hit things behind the far train tracks, which is, as we were talking about before, it's such an important cover position. Oh my gosh, are those engineers going to escape? No way! And Xyr0n's still bleeding a lot here, so these pushes have been costing him a lot of resources. He's getting some good work done.
So if you're Saturus with Xyr0n knocking on the door like he is, are you just holding out for reserve 2? Like, what are you?
Yeah,
how are you
honestly, I
responding?
don't think Saturus is sweating it because the agency was on Xyr0n to make something happen here with the bigger reserve 1. Now Saturus is, you know, it's not going to be a super fast reserve 2 here. It'll probably be around 12 or 13 minutes, so there's still some time here. Xyr0n does have his he does have his workshop up. He's just waiting to take that to advanced here shortly so he can start getting out his big mechs. And he has to be careful. This time he does seem to be repairing the Grimbard a lot more with his engineers than just hitting the repair button at home, so that's saving him a lot of resource. He won't be bleeding nearly as much as he was with the double Strasniks last game. But he's also not pressuring Saturus's resources a lot. He's kind of time and time trying to just grind down the middle here. It's a true World War I trench warfare here, because it's just constant back and forth, just fighting for these single spots over on either side of the track. And he has his mortar still pressuring that iron mine, and with so much infantry out here right now, I think he needs to make sure that mortar is actually contributing to the fight. Yeah, so he takes out the enemy mortar. He breaks the weapon itself, so it can't be recruited at this point. He's pulling his own back, and a second Grimbart's on the field. So with 2 Grimbarts, is this too much of an investment? Or can he actually make something happen with this? His own mortar gets destroyed as well. Alright, and I'd venture to say that if Xyr0n can't break some resources with this push, that he might be in trouble. He's doing a good job, like I said, pushing and that sort of thing, but he's not pressuring resources at all. And when you just fight back and forth like this, it's nothing lost, nothing gained. And we know that Saturus has a couple heavy mechs just hanging in the reserve lines. I will say that when these Grimbarts get vetted up and elite, they just shred infantry. So it'll be something to be said if he can make something happen here. It looks like Xyr0n is going to get a decap on that top natural point, so he's going to get some VPs on the board here. He has been falling behind quite a bit. Looks like Saturus has a little more XP on his Gunther as well. Vet 2 against Vet 1 right now. And did we ever get an oil mine? Oh yeah, so we did get an oil pump upgrade from Xyr0n, that outermost one. Normally we see the one tucked away get upgraded, but I guess the way the map has been being played right here, it makes more sense to have the tucked away mine upgraded, but double gunners out here along with Gunther is making it pretty hard for these Grimbies to advance. If he can just take this victory point, he should be able to hang back with the Grimbarts and hold it. But as it stands right now, he's just not been able to get the decap. He's got to be careful for his squad up north. Well, it's actually elite and it's fighting against engineers, so it's looking okay.
Well, Saturus is doing a good job of keeping his gunners like separated, not blobbing them up, making the Grimbies pick which one to focus on.
Yeah, This low health Grimby could be in trouble if another shot there
we
from
go.
Gunther might finish it
goes.
off.
Ah, you hate to see it.
So right now, Xyr0n has to be thinking about what he's gonna do when the Earl shows up. Because he's having a hard enough time taking the point right now. When that artillery hits, he's gonna have no chance. He kind of has no answer to mechs right now either. Like, all he has is Grimbarts. He's hard anti-infantry at this stage. His only answer is Gunther. Of course, there is a field cannon on this map. He does still have this field cannon as opposed to his opponents, which got destroyed. Oh, he even gets denied the Grimbart salvage there. Might lose his engineers for his trouble as well. Wait, did he buy a third Grimbart?
Yeah, he went into a third one as soon as that other one was destroyed. Was
Huh.
that okay? I thought that was his vetted one. No,
He still has the elite one, but oh, there come the wheels. So Reserve 2 is up. That Earl Canik on this map can see about half the map, even from sitting in base almost. It can protect that center victory point, so it's going to be a huge thing to take out. With with Polani, you have those faster mechs that can get a good flank in and really pressure that Earl Canik, but with Saxony, it's much harder to break those far back artillery lines.
Here come the wheels.
Oh! Oh, that guy's just part of the Earth now. There was
Belongs
one
to the
model
ground.
left on that squad, and then a direct hit from the Earl Canik. Doesn't the Grimbart have a vet ability? It does, but it's not very effective. They need to. There are quite a few abilities that need to be retooled. The Grimbart ability is one of them that doesn't really seem... It's sort of a machine gun barrage, but it doesn't seem to actually do any more damage than just its default firing. So most people don't often use it. Would that work to stop the wheels? That's a good question. That might actually be a decent utility for it. Since it's kind of an AoE lay down fire, but I'm not sure. I don't know actually how much HP the wheels have.
Is it 75? No, it can't be that high.
I should hope not, yeah. Vipicen says the Grimbart ability has one good use, and it's against a mech in close range. It'll do like 250 damage to light armor. Yeah, I guess because if they're close enough and they're in the full cone of fire, it'll actually take the full volley. So yeah. At close range, it can do 250 damage. Yeah, that's kind of like overdrive for the Strasniks too. The Strasniks can actually do some pretty reasonable damage to light armor mechs if the overdrive focuses them down.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he loses another squad. The Earl Canik knockback. Knockback on retreat is something you definitely have to be aware of. Oh my gosh, the wheels and the Earl are just locking things down. This Reserve 2 investment seems to be paying off a lot more than those Grimbarts are. And like I said, Xyr0n was... Go ahead, sorry.
It's 1k health for the wheels, says Rainwolf.
1k health, heavy armor. They're as tough as Zulls. But... yeah, the thing is that, like I said, Xyr0n was having a hard enough time taking the center VP when there weren't mechs on the field. Now there are, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he can do anything about this. Now, has Xyr0n been playing Saxony the whole event? I actually didn't get to watch any of Xyr0n's games. I'm not sure, but...
What is this?
I
Is this
watched
the
I
Kaiser?
watched the VOD a little bit. Whenever he was on tracks, this is what he played. This is
Okay.
the layout.
But yeah, he just didn't manage to convert this early pressure into any real damage. he kept doing these pushes up the
another
middle, and he was causing bleed, but that was it. He does have an clinic of his own on the field, so it's really going to come down to whether or not he can actually take the center VP. If he can shut down the center VP, that's one thing. The oil pump's getting blown up, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're late enough into the game that oil isn't that big a concern, and his large oil pump is the one in the rear.
What the fuck? Why don't you just walk through the building?
Is that a second, Steve, or is it still just one? I think that might be a second.
Yeah, we don't really know what's over there.
Yeah, so there's one on that left side now, on the western side by his natural VP, but I think there's still one over on the east as well.
If we could maybe get a wolf over there.
Yeah, see, there's still wheels. Wolf. There's still wheels flying in on the eastern side, hitting that iron mine. So.
They're SP2 then.
But you see, I like what Xyr0n's doing here. I like focusing down the iron mines much more than the oil pumps, because this late into the game, the oil pumps normally aren't that big a deal. Like your tech resource is more of a problem when you're trying to tech, right? So long as you've got a bit of an oil income right now, you can see he just built another Erlkönig and he still has 300 oil left. So blowing up the oil mines are relevant. I'd be surprised if he even rebuilds it at this point. But the real thing he has to worry about is this push. Oh my gosh, yeah, it looks like here come the Steves. And he's gonna want to take that Erlkönig off of the resource point and start blasting away at some infantry here. Oh my gosh, that's a level 4 Gunther as well.
Ugh.
That's gonna do some serious damage. Those Grimbards probably want to focus down Gunther and those gunners. And see, oh my gosh, this is what I'm talking about. He's keeping those elite gunners and a vet for Gunther.
But Stiefmutter spam is just nonsense, really.
He's gonna lose that.
Yeah, yep. The Steves are tearing him apart. The gunners and Gunther are on the front line pressuring all the mechs. He doesn't have a good answer to it because the Steves and the Erlkönig are just raining down destruction. Is it 3 now? Oh, weird. Look at that bug. Oh, man. Someone clip that. Wacky. So if anyone missed what happened there, the Stiefmutter was focusing the field cannon, and when Xyr0n hopped his infantry off of the field cannon, the wheels lost their target, so they just froze in place.
There's 2 right there. Third one somewhere.
Yeah, there's 3 of them now. The Steves are strong. They're very strong.
Oh, and we got one. We got one for Xyr0n now.
I mean, I think it's the right choice on this map. You can really take advantage and exploit these corners. I mean, you can see what Saturus is doing. Like, you can see, yeah, exactly where Xyr0n's going. Just hanging around this corner right here, you can send those Steve wheels pretty deep. Oh, but here's the big boy, the Xyr0n, the Doom Crab. That AT gun isn't long for this world. It's nice to have, but it's just not going to be enough against all those Steves. There's way too much anti-mech firepower. Saturus' late game composition is much stronger than Xyr0n's at this point. And this was I feel like this was a true Saxony mirror.
900 HP is so stupid.
I like Saturus' combat groups too. He's got gunners hanging out with Gunther to quickly assassinate mechs. He's got the Stiefmutters in the back line. The Xyr0n running up the front here. Xyr0n just doesn't have an answer at this point. I think he's slowly going to get pushed off the map. Yeah, he throws in the GG.
It's a clean Saxony push right there.
Yeah, it really was. And Saturus is going to move up to
we got a
match lead
against the spam.
We got oil spill next. Reverse oil spill.
I mean, I could spam them myself, but That's just a really toxic game then. And you can say I'm controlling the map better, but the problem is that the Stiefmutters are dealing so much damage to my units that I'm losing so much iron and oil to replenish them. And he's just like sitting there with the Stiefmutters, you know, and he has like no downsides to that tactic.
And Xyr0n's
How
pointing
many
out there
games
the
left?
power of the Stiefmutters,
3
but I
games.
do have to say that I feel like Xyr0n's
I didn't pick the
issues
Saturus
were
beat
the
it
early
through,
game.
but it would
Those
be
pushes,
better.
when he was just grinding down the middle like that, he wasn't getting anything out of that. I think one of the Grimbarts should have gone up around the side and either pressured the VP in the oil
Alright, so let's
or
win 3 in a row now, I
something
guess.
other than what he was doing, because he was just spending so much time getting nothing. That whole time that he had the reserve 1 advantage and he pushed up the mid,
how
he
is
didn't even get a
Venakus against
decap on the
Detroit?
center
Someone
VP.
tell me.
Yeah, and I don't think building multiple Grimbards like he did was a bad choice. I think just keeping them together like he did was the bad
Okay,
choice.
shoot and run away from
Right.
them. They explode on the way. I know.
Xyr0n went hard tier 1.5 and now he's mad that he's got out tech. He's never been blood crusher rushed. Oh man, I'm glad Vindicator's here with the Dawn of War 2 analogies to make me feel good. And Dawn of War 2, you can get if you invest hard in like your kind of tier 1 stuff, you sometimes get punished really hard by a sharper tech, and that's kind of what happened here. Stiefmutter is too good versus everything. What I would like to see from the Stiefmutter is a slower reload time, because I think if I'm to understand correctly, I believe the design intention is that it should have high burst but low sustained damage. So really the idea should be that you have to pull it back and have it rebuild all of its wheels and then unleash a volley. And then it should take a long time for that volley to refill. Right now I think the wheels refill way too fast. I think the reload time needs to be increased if that's what they want it to do. Because right now it's simply it simply just continues to blast out damage during the entire engagement. Or maybe you could even make it such that it can't fire unless I forget maybe it was you that suggested it, Nick, yesterday. Suggested that it can't fire until it fully reloads.
I don't think that was me, but I love that idea.
Because the Stiefs are very slow and they're actually quite easy to take out if you can close the distance on them. They go down very quickly. Olvadi says he'd like to see a switch between anti-infantry or anti-mech wheels. That could be something as well.
So infantry wheels are just little frisbees, and then the big ones for the mechs.
Right. Oh, it looks like he's gonna. Xyr0n wants a little bit of a breather, so we'll let him figure that out. Any update on the score between the other matches right now? Does anyone know how Venakus and Troid is doing?
Take a gander.
Yeah, I know I got, but it was hard. Like he played well.
The counter is 2 gunners and Stief is down. Yeah, well, the other thing too, right, is that when Xyr0n keeps making these pushes, he keeps having his mechs right next to each other.
His reserves arrived, and then he managed to get the upper hand because of the Stiefs.
It's 1-0 for Venakus. Oh, I don't know. My predictions are looking pretty okay right now.
Listen, like, I think that Venakus is a really big noob, but I will listen to him once. We had a talk yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And I will trust Venakus on this one.
Oh, we got some Saxony action over there too.
Today. I will listen to him and let's see if I can win 3 games in a row.
Catching on, must be something in the water.
By listening to what he taught me. Alright, Venakus, I will do the thing you told me.
So Xyr0n's still taking a quick little breather. He wanted a couple minutes to kind of gather himself, figure out what was going on. You thought Olga would be spammed? Yeah, I thought it was too. You might sound like a broken record, but unit counts don't work well in Iron Harvest, and you pray it will change. How do you mean? Unit counters don't work well. A lot of units are too good versus everything.
But I somehow didn't manage to get in the range, in the right range. And
So do you think we'll see the same build from Xyr0n going back on oil spill, double Ana and double strats?
I think he can make that work. He just has to make. I feel like Saturus is strong enough that he can deal with Xyr0n's reserve 1 pushes. This is something I encounter as well, is that my reserve 1 pushes against weaker players feel so dominant. Like, when I get Ana and the Strasniks out with good timing, I push across the map, I shut them out, and then I get my tick up way before their reserve 2 hits. Against stronger players, the same thing that happens to Xyr0n happens to me. I think he needs to focus his efforts a little more and really figure out what he wants to do with that reserve 1 and make it happen. Because if he can't, that's when you're going to get run over. Especially, and he seems, I mean, I know he's kind of tilted on the Stiefmutters right now, but you can bring him down. You just can't be rolling all of your stuff together in a blob. Like when you got your Zulfs on top of each other, the Stiefmutters are effectively doing double damage, right? All right, it looks like we're ready to go into the reserves here.
I'm not even kidding you.
Well, I haven't watched much. I watched a few games this morning in these last 2, and it just feels like watching him that there's an issue. Like he has reserve 1 down, like the early game down, but then the transition to when the big mechs start coming out, that's when he starts to get a little less concentrated.
Champ.
Oh wait, what is this?
Olga
versus Lek, a complete change from the previous matchup. Now let's see how Xyr0n's Rusviet is looking. I feel like he's played so much Polani and Saxony. I'm not sure if he's going to be as familiar or as strong with Rusviet, but we saw this from Troy last tournament. It did not work out well for him.
Did not.
So I hope Xyr0n's a little more confident with his Rusviet.
I will try something else as well.
He's going Olga, Groza, flamethrowers.
On one idea, and if it works, it will work. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and I go to the 3rd place match.
I think his plan might be resource point destruction here.
Let's go only with the hero.
Because you
Saturus and
you don't want flamethrowers against Polani and riflemen on this map. Your flamethrowers are never going to hit riflemen. They're slow, they're short range. The riflemen can kite them all day. So I think his plan is to go push up one side with the Groza and the flamethrowers and maybe just burn down an oil point and an iron mine.
Maybe Saturus will open with the mortar, you know? Maybe he will get his reserve 1 first.
We're going to see where it goes. We're in game number 3. Saturus is on match point. We're in the semifinals. And if Xyr0n doesn't win this one, he's going to the 3rd place match. So as it stands right now...
I will play such a weird opening. You probably won't even get what the idea is. But,
what about the bug with invisible flames that came in the last patch? Yeah, that might be the one thing. Yeah, that's Xyr0n's master plan, is to hit him with the cloaked flames.
If it doesn't, then whatever. Just taking my grenades.
Okay, so this time you can see Saturus was a little wary of grenades stealing this time. He's not stealing the grenade because he still captured 1 point. Yeah. I think Xyr0n's feeling a little flustered in this position. Best thing is Flamer Zulf. Oh man, yeah. If we saw a Flamer Zulf in a tournament game, I'd be so excited. It's like, yeah, I'm playing Polania, but I really like Ognivos, so I figured this was the next best thing.
Who said there was just one flamethrowing mech in the game?
There's a potential for 20 total matches today between all contestants, right? Yeah, if every single game went to 5, it would be 20 matches for us to look at today. That would be a long day, but we'll see. I mean, Xyr0n has to make something happen or he's going to crush your dreams, Rainwolf. Like an Ognivo, just fast and can actually take a hit. So he did get a second engineer. He didn't grab flamethrowers last time. And he's not worried. I don't think he's worried about gunners at this point either.
Hey guys, don't run away.
All right. Well, we've got two squads of riflemen on the far side here. We've got the oil pump getting contested. It looks like not much is happening on the far side. Some iron pressure here from Xyr0n, sneaking in those engineers way on the back line, which is pretty nice. Anytime you can decap those big iron mines, it's actually quite significant. We see the rifles kind of tussling over here. Not seeing the bullying we normally see from the Rusv yet. It's a little harder on this map because the rifles can spread out. You can see how Saturus is moving around and making sure he's spread out as much as he can between the various cover on the far sides there, so that he doesn't just get focused down by these vanguards.
Oh no, I almost...
Okay, so I guess he's keeping the second set of engineers on the field just in case he wants to go gunner down the road.
I'm willing to bet he'll grab the flamethrowers. I think his plan is to get 2 flamethrowers and to charge either the resource points or the base, and either destroy barracks or destroy some resource points. But right now he's looking pretty strong here with this vanguard push. He's got a lot of decaps going down on the far side of the map. He's been keeping track of those rifles pretty well. Gets the decap on the oil. He's going to send the engineers back to take the contested oil. And right now, Saturus is getting decap down to about a single point here. He gets the decap on the iron mine and pulls back. This is a great push by Xyr0n. If he can hold these points for a little bit, or at least deny the recaptures of them for a little bit, this will get him a nice victory, a nice economic advantage. Grenade comes down here. Xyr0n's a little slow to react. He loses a few troops over there.
Noobs, we know. Right?
Doesn't get the decap on that last iron mine. But the big thing right here is that he's currently denying this big oil pump, which is a pretty significant thing for slowing down that reserve too.
I can body block, maybe. Can I body block?
Yeah.
Trying for the body block didn't work out.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you can actually do that with infantry. I know mechs actually occupy space, but I'm not sure infantry do.
So I got 4 minutes or maybe 5 minutes until his reserves arrive.
Yeah, see, he's very much
right on
thinking about
time.
the reserve
Do
too.
everything we can. Actually, let's do it like that.
And again, a sharp timing with this reserve 1, considering that he did go for the 3-point upgrade.
Actually.
So then does he get cheeky and try to take the other flamethrower weapon as well?
That would be interesting if he went for a 3rd flamethrower. That's something he could do.
Because I mean,
Yeah,
you're already going to be over there destroying that oil pump, so why not while you're in the neighborhood?
Right. So let's see what his plan is. He's definitely going for a double flamethrower play here, along with Olga and the Groza. The Groza should be largely unanswered right now. I don't think the guns didn't get taken off of the map, so there's no anti-mech on the field as of right now. So the light armor on the Grozas is going to be pretty impactful. And of course, oh man, Xyr0n loses another squad though. See, this could be the big problem here, is that Xyr0n just lost 2 squads when this is when he wants his army to be at its strongest. When you lose 2 squads just before your reserve 1 hits, imagine if this push was the same push but had 2 more Vanguard squads with him. Like, imagine if 2 Vanguard squads were pushing up with Olga right now. Like, it would just be a 1 map. As it stands right now, the timing for Xyr0n just didn't work out well at all, unfortunately. Yeah, and you're right, he is going for that far flamer. He's going triple flamer into this right now. He eats a big grenade shot right there, though. Hops on and offs to spawn Changa up. And looks like Saturus is onto him. Saturus sees what's happening here. The flamers are pushing up, but they're pushing up unassisted. Oh, see, this is... I don't know. Without the extra Vanguard support, I'm not sure this push works because he doesn't have anything to challenge the rifles, and the rifles are just going to pick apart all these flamethrowers. 1 squad already gets retreated. The 2nd squad is now retreating as well. There's only 1 squad of flamethrowers on the front of the map, and they're about to get hunted down by 2 squads of riflemen again. I think for this push to work, you really need to be sharp with your infantry. You can't lose squads during this approach, and it's looking like it might be a lost idea for Xyr0n. That said, he had a good push early on. He did deny that medal for a little while. But when Reserve 2 hits, it's going to be rough.
Flamethrower's taking a nice little stroll through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, the flamethrowers are just as slow as gunners. That gets really rough. All right, and opposing gunners did get purchased. And he's deep enough into enemy territory, he does have to be aware of potential mine placement, too. When these Grozes get down to about half health, a single mine, I mean, even at full health if they're bunched up, but a single mine and some splash damage can just delete the squad if he's not careful. He's going for the oil pump decap again. And he's got his 3 flamethrower squads. I think he wanted to make it happen, but I think it might have been a little too silly with the way some of the other stuff went in the game. And the tourney have any tours made an appearance? Yeah, there's been a couple tours yesterday. We haven't seen any today because we've seen very little Polania. But yeah, I mean, as much as this was a cool idea, I think Xyr0n isn't quite going to be able to make it happen. That said, he's been holding the map very well, so he's certainly not out of it, but the infantry fight is just not really in his favor right now. He's looking to maybe burn down this oil pump over here, but I'd rather see him maybe try for the iron mine, I guess. I feel like at this point, that lone oil pump isn't going to be worth all the investment he's made. He's got a Nakovania up, so he is moving into the later game. He's getting some of his tech online. But the Reserve 2 is going to be able to close range with that quite easily.
Olga raising hell over there on the west side.
The west side is Olga's side. You don't come to the side of the tracks. Not with infantry, anyways.
We don't go west side anymore.
I've just tuned in. Is that 3 flamethrowers?
Yeah, it's 3 flamethrowers. We were talking about. We think Xyr0n had a plan for some resource point destruction, but he unfortunately lost. He lost 2 of his Vanguard squads right before his Reserve 1 hit, and then was kind of just unable to make a push with his flamethrowers, because the rifles just ripped him apart. He didn't have anything to front for the flamethrowers, so the rifles were just able to pick them apart piecemeal, and Xyr0n's Reserve 1 plans were kind of dashed, and oh no, here's good old Uncle Lech!
Oh, Uncle Lech.
So Lech and the Zulfs are here, and things are gonna get much dicier. I don't think Nako spam is what you want to deal with those kind of Polanian mechs. I feel like he was kind of playing, I guess, for the Reserve 1 play, because going for Nakos into this Reserve 2 of Polania is just It seems like a losing scenario. Lek is coming up the west side here. You can see on the flank he's trying to find a way to move in on this position. Wants to figure out where the AT gun is and come up on the flank of these Nakovanias.
Now we got Lek on the west side.
Yeah, there's some serious hero escalation over there. And here comes the second Zulf. Yeah, this is looking like a rough situation again for Xyr0n.
I love that fire truck red, by the way.
Oh, I love it. I need more red mechs. I need a full red army. So here comes Lek on the flank. There's a lone flamethrower in here. Xyr0n's just determined. He's like, listen, I got these flamethrowers. I'm going to put some fire down in his base. That's all there is to it. Smack. He drops the hammer fist down, breaks the first of the Nakovanias, and it looks like that AT gun is actually quite low on health too. Lek might just be able to smack it down.
No, I wanted to.
That flamethrower is still holding on up there.
How long does it take one single flamethrower model to destroy a building? I hope Saturus just doesn't even kill it. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Saturus to not destroy it.
Oh, and he's gone.
Tragic.
F in the chat for that lone flamethrower.
The F stands for flame, right?
Flame on.
Flamed.
Flameo Hotman. Lek is going to get revived. You can't actually, for whatever reason... Oh, but he goes back down to a Nako rocket. For whatever reason, you can't actually slow down or interrupt reses. So long as the models that are picking up the heroes stay alive and don't get knocked back, that res will continue pretty quickly. Lek gets picked up and escapes.
With a back shot. That makes 0 sense right now. Interesting shit.
So yeah, Xyr0n has the victory point advantage for the time being, but the army composition is definitely in favor of Saturus. That said, the flamethrowers will be great defensive weapons, but there's so much infantry that Saturus still has compared to just the 2 squads that Xyr0n's down to now. Granted, infantry aren't going to be nearly as much of a factor when you have 3 Nakovanias on the field, but he has to be very careful with his positioning because the Polinian mech army as of right now with Lek and double Zulfs is pretty much designed to flank positions.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, the Zulf was just hanging out. Just hanging out, guys. What's up? On the back line. A nice hit from the AT gun there. Does vet up.
It's a nice little stroll.
Where's Lek, though? I expect Lek to be moving up with this this Zulf. And here comes the second one. The 2 Zulfs now... Oh man, but a second AT gun comes down as well, so it might be able to at least stall this push out a little bit. It looks like he's just going to unload his rockets on this Zulf right here. And it does force a retreat. One of the Nakos might be in a bit of trouble here. I think it should be able to get out of there, but Lek is starting to level up here a little bit. Is he going to chase? I don't know if he sees that last AT gun in the back there. He gets the kill. And he should be able to escape. Oh no! Xyr0n unset up his AT gun. Oh dear.
Oh.
Oh dear. That's always a frustrating thing. The way the AT guns unset up sometimes is pretty frustrating. Alright, can Olga make something happen here? Can he get that center VP back? It looks like... Oh wait, is that a bunker down on the center VP, or is that just rifles in a building? We'll have to take a look back there in a second. No, it's just rifles in the building. Okay, I wasn't sure if he managed to slap down a bunker there. I feel like a bunker against triple Nako would probably be a pretty big waste of resources, but I wasn't sure how brazen Saturus was feeling in this particular instance.
So Red, what are you doing? What are you doing in this moment as Xyr0n? You've got your 2 Nakos, you've got your AT guns, you've got a flamethrower unit left over. What are you doing? Are you?
I think it's Nagan time. I think Xyr0n seems to kind of get stuck in like, I'm going to rebuild my mechs. I'm going to rebuild my mechs. When sometimes you need to tier up. I think 2 Nakos is plenty. You can get a 3rd, but I don't think you're really getting that much out of the 3rd missile barrage. Like even with 2, you're still pretty much constantly raining down missiles. The 3rd is kind of just layering on to a role you already have filled. I think you want a mech destroyer at this point. If you have a Nagan protecting these 2 mechs in addition to those 2 AT guns, there's no way a Zulf can dive in against you. He's got 2 ATs. He's got 3 ATs, right? Yeah, he's got 3 of them out there.
Nako.
Yeah, so he's got 1 engineer squad out fixing up their guns, so it's not showing up on the unit bar, but there are 3 cannons there.
Yep, there they are right there.
So at this point, he needs to start teching up. He's at army cap. He hasn't upgraded either his barracks or his workshop. So he needs to tech up first, get his army size a little bigger, and then he can start fielding some more heavy mechs. All right, so Xyr0n looks like he's just trying to set up his position here. He's trying to get his AT guns set in the right spot. The thing that's going to start being a little difficult here is if Saturus wants, Saturus has a pretty heavy infantry advantage. I think Saturus still has, I want to say, 4 rifle squads, maybe even 5. So there's 4 rifles that could start moving up the flank here and start taking out these AT gun crews. And yeah, we can see the two elite squads over here facing off against the Vanguard. It looks like Saturus may have dropped some micro over there. And Uncle Lek is over here too. Are the AT guns in position? I think they are. Xyr0n just looks like he's kind of moving into lockdown mode. And see, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people say they can't approach with. It's like, man, I don't know how to beat Zulfs, but like you get these staggered AT gun formations, and then, like I said, if Xyr0n was to get Nagan on the field here, if he ever actually upgrades his workshop, I don't think there'd be a way for a Zulf to get in here and do anything.
It's still fine.
It's like Uncle Lek's gonna make short work of the workshop down here.
He's just trying to annoy. That's the one thing with having all of your mech be AT guns, is that you can't reposition quickly. So Lek is going to try to smash the barracks over here. It's 2-0 for Venequist on the other side, looking like a 3-0 soon. Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Well,
I'm not sure how this one's going to go either. Lek looks like he's not able to get the job done. He goes down in the opposing base here.
Well, Saturus is going to know what's coming out now with Lek over there. So I mean,
and someone was asking for it. I don't know who was asking for it, but it's here. The tour is on the map. And it's pressuring some of the points. It has to fall back because there's nothing but Nakos and AT over here, so the tour can't really fight that. The tour is kind of an odd choice here. I get that you want to have the big super heavy mech, but the way that Xyr0n's forces are built right now, there's nothing that the tour really threatens. It can kind of hold a point, but the barrages can just come in here, and the tour can't approach because there's field cannons everywhere. Now, maybe the tour can hold over here and pull these AT guns away from the mid. Oh, look at this. This is what I like to see. These double grenades can actually decrew these AT guns right away. If he just throws 2 grenades, it'll kill the squad almost outright. Yeah, there goes one. Let's see if the second comes down. Oh, a nice reaction from Xyr0n. Pulls the squad off, but not quite quick enough. And look, yeah, look, this Tor's already down to about half its health.
Oh god.
Some nice stutter stepping as well, making sure he fires, repositions, fires again.
I told it to get into sentry mode and it does nothing. Literally does nothing.
The Tur is trying to get out of there. Lek is in position. One of the AT guns got decrewed, but the others are looking pretty healthy. Where is Olga? She's deep in enemy territory.
It's Nagan time.
There we go. Finally a Nagan. If this Nagan gets on the field and manages to hold a position with these Nakovanias, I think this could be the missing piece to Xyr0n's puzzle. Xyr0n has very little time to make this happen, but I think now that he has this composition, he's good to go. Like I said, I really feel like that if he just cut one of these Nakovanias out and got this Nagan out sooner, this push on the left side wouldn't be happening. But it looks like he still might be able to thwart it, at least for the time being. But yeah, look how slow the Tur is to actually damage enemy mechs. It just takes so long. The Turs are amazing anti-infantry mechs, but they're not great at fighting off their own kind.
Is the sentry mode not working anymore? I'm telling them all the time to go into sentry mode.
Sentry mode takes a while to set up, and I think he might just be clicking a little too rapidly and pulling them out of sentry mode.
Did that Tur get away?
Yeah, it looks. I'm pretty sure the Tur escaped. There wasn't too much to fight it here. But yeah, kind of what I'd like to see here is maybe a Motsni in addition to the Zuls. A lot of people, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I'm not in the tournament, so I can't speak to it. But I feel like people are still kind of figuring out which mechs do what, and they kind of just feel like, oh well, Nakos are OP, so I'm just gonna get a lot of those. But you have to think about an endgame mech composition. Like, what does the opponent have, and what are your options to stop it? So if you're fighting Zuls, oh my gosh, no, he throws in the towel now.
I played so fucking
Oh dear. Xyr0n feeling a little tilted, I guess, on that one. This was the moment that I feel like he could have done something. I didn't see where the VPs were, but that looks like it's going to be it for Xyr0n. Saturus is moving on to the final. Xyr0n will be going down to the third place match, and it sounds like he might be fighting against Troy.